Hello, friends, loved ones, and curious strangers. It's December 27th, and I'm still doing the vlogmas. I understand some people quit at Christmas, but I didn't start at the 1st, so I figure I was thinking all along that I was going to go to January, to 31st. So I will continue to vlog until New Year's Eve, all of December. And today I wanted to talk about nutrition. Food, nutrition. You probably know lots about nutrition already. Like, you understand what calories are, and you understand that if you eat more calories than you burn, you'll get fat. And that if you want to lose weight, you eat less calories than you burn, and you will get skinny. And you're right, on the base of it, in general. That's like saying there's 3 colors in the world: yellow, blue, and red. And that you can have another 3 that are kind of there if you mix them. Green, purple, and orange. But, as you know, there's a whole rainbow of colors, and you can't paint your room with just 6. This is the truth with nutrition. Calories isn't all there is to it. Think of calories as the logs of wood that you put on the fire. You put a log on the fire, the log catches fire, and you have heat. Then the heat generates steam and the locomotive goes down the track, or whatever it is that you want to do with that energy. So, great, you've got a whole shed full of wood. You got some packed on your hips, you got a little packed on your thighs, you've got a whole bunch in the fridge, you've got lots and lots of wood heat. So you could go with, ages and ages and ages off that. Or, wait and lose weight later, right? That's great. And you're doing your best now. You have cut your food down in half or doubled it, depending on whether you want to gain or lose weight. And it's going to work. But it doesn't. And you're wondering why. There's more to it than just calories. So here you've got all your logs, but the fire's gone cold every morning, and you can't start it from embers. You need tinder and matches, don't you? First you need the match to spark it, then you need some tinder to catch, because a log is a hard thing to burn. So you need to have a little bit of tinder and you need to have a match. Those are your vitamins and minerals. We could say the matches are minerals and the tinder is vitamins, because you need a lot more tinder than you do matches. And matches are made of minerals, and tinder tends to be made out of vegetables, fibers, which is, where the vitamins come from. And that's the point about nutrition. I can eat a bag of chips, and I will get trace amounts of calcium and trace amounts of vitamin C and maybe just a hit of A and D. I can eat a chocolate bar, and it'll have iron, vitamins A, vitamins D. Both of those items will have salt. Both of them will have calories. I can eat an orange and get a huge whack of vitamin C. And it'll come with fiber. And it'll probably come with a little bit of vitamin A as well. Because vitamin A is similar to carotene, and it makes red and orange colored food. And vitamin D is vital with calcium for running your nervous system. Your nerves stop working properly if you don't have enough vitamin D and calcium and salt in your system, causing depression, lethargy, and that stupidity feeling that we often call foggy or not entirely there. So you need to have vitamin A, for instance, is required for your eyes to work properly and for certain metabolic functions to burn those logs. Vitamin C is absolutely crucial in burning logs, and it's one reason why you crave sour when you have sweet, because sweet is the log. Sour is a vitamin C. Citric acid, that's vitamin C. That's what they put in those sour candies that you go for when you're going for, because at least you can burn. It's a match, if you will, or a tinder. But it's not enough by itself. If you're getting more logs than you have tinder and matches to burn, your body can't use the logs, the calories. It will put them in storage. So you could be getting fatter and fatter every day, eating a fraction of the calories you need, and just sitting around wishing you could move more. You might even be using sheer force of will to keep moving against exhaustion, but you're still not losing weight because there's not enough vitamins and minerals included in the food you're eating. You're eating empty calories. That's what they mean when they say empty calories. On the other hand, some foods have more vitamins and minerals than the calories included require. Mostly raw, your clean meats, not processed, just you bought a steak or you bought a chicken breast or something, you threw it in the frying pan, you cooked it up real fast, slapped it on the plate with salt and pepper, and you're having yourself a nice little sautéed piece of meat. That's got more nutrition in it than it needs to burn the calories that it includes. Actually, I think meats are about even Steven. But a lot of foods, eggs for instance, most of your fruits and vegetables, your dark green leafy greens and your brightly colored fruits, these things have more vitamins than they need themselves. So they help you burn the backlog of logs from the potato chips, rice, and bread you've been eating. And speaking of bread is very high calorie. The finer the grain, the worse it is. If you're going to eat bread, you want to eat bread, and please eat organic because they spray Roundup all over that crap. At harvest, yeah, that's cancer causing, and it causes metabolic problems, including obesity and a whole lot of autoimmune disorders. So if you're going to eat grains, try to focus on organic. Stay away from the pasta aisle, stay away from the bakery. Just start focusing, it's $7 a loaf, but you didn't need that bread in the first place. So 2 slices of bread a day, how expensive is that? Think about it. Maybe there's a different way, like you could take a vegetable soup in a thermos for lunch instead of a sandwich. But let's face it, when's the last time you brought lunch? How many people do anymore? I should really teach people how to make a bag lunch. So, leafy greens, brightly colored fruits like your peppers and your oranges and your berries, these things have more vitamins and minerals than they need to burn the calories they include. So when you eat foods that are rich like that, you not only have enough to burn the calories that you've eaten and enough to run your body so that your brain is firing on all cylinders, your nerves are all moving smoothly. Yes, eating nutrition with lots of vitamins and minerals will alleviate depression to a great degree. You still want to put a grow light in your house in the winter if you live in us northern climes, because there's only so much vitamin D you can get from your food. You might want to take supplements. Because vitamin D, one of the ways you get it, the best way to get it, is your skin makes it when your skin gets exposed to ultraviolet light. So if you're not going outside a lot, you want to bring some of that UV light into the house. That's why I have a grow light. It's not really so much for the plants as it is for me and for any birds, because birds need them too. Birds and reptiles and humans need UV light to stay healthy. Seriously, my parrot has to sit by a window where you get sunlight or get brought over near the grow lights. So, what's going to happen when you start eating a richer, more nutritious diet and eliminating the high-calorie, empty, starchy foods like pastas and breads, and even beans are low compared to the calories they bring. They're better for you. But again, you want to look for organic because, again, many of the pulse crops and legumes that are grown in North America are rife with glyphosate. Now, as GMO products are getting banned around the world, if it's not GMO, they can't spray Roundup on it to the same degree. They can still spray it at harvest. So the big commercial farmers, the ones that want to make everything work according to clockwork, they're still going to be spraying Roundup on your food. Because when they spray Roundup on the food, they force the entire field to come harvest ready at the same time, which means that they don't have to wait as long. They can calendar plan their harvest. They can say, we're going to harvest field A on Monday, field B on Tuesday, and they spray just that many days in advance to force harvest. So this is one reason to cut back on your grains and your pulse crops, your beans, your legumes, peanuts are a legume, so even peanut butter. You want to cut down on those things. And if you need to add more calories to your diet, you turn to fats. Animal fats, really. Vegetable fats, yeah, the nuts, nut fat. I would avoid the corn fat and the grain fats. And please, palm oil is becoming a serious environmental hazard. So look to coconut oil. Look to walnut oil and almond oil and stuff like that. Olive oil is still a wonderful product. Avocado oil is a good one. These are vegetable fats if you just can't stand to, to see animals die for your life. But this morning actually, I posted it this morning. This morning's video on making broth also shows how to skim off the fat. That's the kind of fat I'm talking about. Use that to fry things. Use that as butter. Add a dollop to your sauces and your stews and your soups. It's good stuff. So fats are really, really good source of calories. And not only that, but most of the stuff that you build in your body, like when you're building muscle, when you're building replacement body cells like skin and muscle and all of you, a huge part, and neural tissue as well, a huge part of the construction involves fats, various assorted fats, including cartilage health. Your body uses lipids, it's called, and there's a variety of lipids that it uses, and you can think of the lipids as the mortar that holds it all together, mortar and the bricks. I'm not 100% sure. Think of it as the cement out of which your body makes itself. So you need to get fats in your diet, so use fats if you need to build up your calories instead of carbs. The only good carb is a fresh plant carb. Not a grain carb. Nut carbs, they're a little better. But if you really, really want to carb it up, you should be eating tons and tons of leafy greens, tons of roots. Roots are a really great source of carbs. You got your sweet potatoes, got your carrots. White potatoes are your least. They're like the iceberg lettuce of the root kingdom. You're better off with beets and red potatoes and golden potatoes and blue potatoes and carrots, like I said, sweet potatoes. And plantain's probably pretty good. I don't like the stuff, so I don't really plantain. Plantain is the banana-like thing, which is good for you, and I have used it. Anyways, the more orange it is, the more color it has, the better it is for you. When you're looking at lettuces, I want you to stop using iceberg lettuce because it's the junk food of lettuce. There's a reason why they use it at the fast food restaurants. It's durable. It's easy to ship and transport it. It doesn't go off as quick, but it's also very high in water, very low in nutrition. It tends to be weak and pale, just like commercial eggs tend to have a white yolk, whereas your free-run eggs have orangey yolks. Again, that color is your clue for nutrition. And those vitamins are what determine your health, your longevity, your vitality, and your ability to lose weight. You can't lose weight if you don't have the tinder and the matches to burn the logs. If you don't have the nutrition to burn the calories, it doesn't matter how much you eat, you won't lose weight. There are people walking around in our society who are malnourished and morbidly obese at the same time, and they can't understand why they can sit with their stomach stuffed until they're almost ready to throw up, still craving that little something something. You know that feeling. You've been sitting back, chowing down on your favorite things for Christmas. There's chocolate, there's cake, there's chips, there's French fries. There has been buns and sauces and whipping cream. Up the yin-yang. I mean, I know you've been eating the sugar, haven't you? And yet you're still kind of hungry. That's because you haven't been getting enough fruits and vegetables and real proteins, real meats. Proteins, that's the other thing that goes with the fat to make the body parts. Proteins and fats make body parts. calories release energy, vitamins burn the calories, and minerals help run things. And between all of them, you get a functioning body. So if you want to be fit, you have to up the quantity of fruits and vegetables. Ideally, half of your diet should be fresh plant food. And then the other half of your diet could be divided between nuts, fats, and meats. And you don't need to put grains in your diet, and you don't need to put dairy in your diet, and you don't need to put beans in your diet. Those things are secondary foods, and a lot of them have been contaminated with Roundup. So if you're going to include them, pay a little more attention and cut back on how much, because they're going to bite you in the end. They bit me. I was a whole grain granola baby, and I didn't eat organic because I felt that the main thing about organic was that it saves the land, but not that it made a difference to my diet, and it sure made a difference to my pocketbook. So I would say, well, I would really like them to stop spraying crap all over the land, but by the time the food gets to me, my government has made sure there's nothing on it. And when I found out that that wasn't true, that somehow glyphosate, Roundup, was actually approved for consumption, I lost a lot of faith. For the most part, I still believe that the Canadian government does watch over us in that sense, does decide how much is okay and monitor things. But it did turn out that, no, in fact, Roundup is approved for pre-harvest use. And World Health Organization's already listed as a cancerous agent, and yet it's still approved for pre-harvest use. It's still running in the water. It's still flowing across the land into all of the streams. It's still vaporizing into the air and blowing around. It's still blowing in the dust, and it's still getting on the crops. That's really unfortunate. But when it comes to nutrition, the takeaway here is half your diet should be something you've got to chew on. You can put it in a soup. Learn my stock recipe. Take all your veggies, cut them small, and stick them in the soup if that's the only way you'll eat them. Some of the important nutrients may boil off. Vitamins A, C, and D, they are extremely volatile. They boil off. You pee them off within 8 to 10 hours. That's one of the reasons you have to eat so much, because they just dissolve in your urine, and you pee them out if you haven't used them. So you have to constantly replenish them. So eat those fruits, eat those veggies. And I have learned from the last 4 years of changing my diet that way, that when you stop buying all of the extra junky things that you think of as treats, the money you save from there goes right back to the fruits and vegetables. And I've actually been spending less on my groceries since I stopped eating the processed and the starchy foods. I actually have saved money. And I can't explain it because I'm buying much more expensive food. And yet, I'm spending less per month on groceries since I went to the high quality, expensive food and avoiding the junk foods. Really, calorie counting is only one equation. Here's the other thing. You start putting those vegetables and fruits back in your diet, and I guarantee you're going to find the energy that you need to burn off the calories. You're going to feel like a kid again. You're going to want to go walk around the block. You're going to want to break into a run. You're going to want to take those stairs 2 at a time. You're going to feel energized. And then burning off the calories isn't going to be the same struggle it is now. It's going to be a much more willing and enjoyable activity. You'll do it for fun because you're eating right. And you'll settle into a much healthier body size and shape and physique. And it won't matter if you look like Beyonce or you look like Rosie O'Donnell. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you've got the energy to get up that flight of stairs, and you've got the energy to smile when you see somebody pass you by. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow.